Hi, everyone. I'm Colleen Cross, editor of Canadian Pizza Magazine. Welcome to our professional pizza roundtable talk, Pizza Trends. What are the big trends in the pizza industry in Canada right now? Pizza Trends is consistently one of our top searches on our website, so we thought we'd explore what's going on right now. The goal here is to get you thinking about ideas to take away to your own operation, and more importantly, ways to take the trends that you're seeing and make them work for your business. Joining us today are two very special guests and highly successful entrepreneurs in the pizza industry. We are very fortunate to have them here to share their take on top trends in pizza making, consumer demand, and business operations. We'll also touch on their individual approaches to acting on the trends that they discover. Domenic Primucci was born to immigrant parents from the region of Basilicata, Italy. Back in 1963, his father and uncles opened one small corner pizzeria called Pizza Nova in Toronto. Today, Domenic is the president of Pizza Nova, which is still a Toronto-based family-owned and operated business, but a business that now has 150 locations throughout southern Ontario. The chain is known for sourcing the freshest, locally grown ingredients and using the best recipes and traditional preparation methods. Domenic has received numerous honors over the years. Among those, in 2012, under his leadership, Pizza Nova won the Grand Prize Award of Excellence in Franchising with the Canadian Franchise Association. It consistently wins bronze, silver, or gold in this category year over year. Domenic has been lead in Pizza Nova's charitable fundraisers, events, and ongoing pizza and monetary donations to many organizations. Two of the charities closest to his heart are Village Charities Foundation and Variety Village, the children's charity. As if that weren't enough, Domenic was inducted into the Scarborough Walk of Fame, which honors citizens who have made extraordinary contributions to their community. Welcome, Domenic.
Thank you, Colleen.
Great to have you with us. Khan Lalani is founder and CEO of General Assembly Pizza. After opening a popular restaurant specializing in naturally leavened pizza in Toronto in 2017, Ali definitely steered the GA pizza brand through the first stages of the pandemic with strategic pivots, developing a chef-driven, premium, ready-to-eat frozen pizza line for grocery and consumer packaged goods, and later adding on a direct-to-consumer line and pizza subscription service. His career started as a restaurateur in Guelph, Ontario, where he became one of the youngest franchisees in Swiss Chalet history, moving next to Woodstock and turning both locations into exemplars for the corporate office, where he became advisor for national media campaigns, restaurant, and menu design. Ali is a certified pizzaiolo and has received his Level 2 Master Sommelier accreditation. His goals are to disrupt the pizza industry as we know it and to help lead the quality pizza movement. To that end, in February, GA Pizza closed an oversubscribed $13 million Series A investment round as it plans to scale up its pizza subscription service across Canada, which far exceeded the company's goal of $3.5 million. Welcome, Ali.
Thank you very much, Colleen, and great to be here with pizza legend, Domenic.
Welcome to both of you. I can't think of two more exciting people to be talking with about trends today. Let's get into it. What trends in the pizza industry, and that could be consumer habits, menu demands, operational or otherwise, that you have noticed over the past year? Do you want to start, Domenic?
Sure, definitely I'll start. First of all, I don't like the word trends because as Pizza Nova, I don't like to say that we follow trends. I'm more I look at it as shifts in the market. When you look at, for in our case, recently with a plant-based product, or a few years back, our raised without antibiotics products, to me that was not necessarily just a trend. There are shifts in the marketplace because that's what the consumer is looking for. That's what the new consumer, the younger consumers is demanding. And for us to stay relevant in the pizza world and just in the food world and food service world, you need to try to find what these shifts in the marketplace are, because these are also your future customers. Yes, you have your existing loyal customers that have loved and tried your product and love what you have and everything that they buy, which you can still consistently have. But you're also looking into what is the next part of what the consumer wants to for the next generation. Where are we going? And we've been around since, yes, we've been around a long time, since '63, but I mean, we've been a long time because we are able to understand the changes and how society evolves and where you go, and we're able to try and get into these type of shifts in the marketplace more so than the trend, because there are trends
Right.
that come and go. It could be a hot topping at the moment and it comes and it goes, or it's a hot food item that comes and goes, but we try to stay true to what we are and what we do on an everyday basis.
Right. Excellent point. Ali, what have you noticed in shifts in the marketplace?
2020 was a year where we saw a lot of consumer habits and or trends developing and rapidly changing in the marketplace. And I think some of the key takeaways for our business early in 2020 was the quick and almost seismic shift at home pizza, whether that's hot pizza for delivery, whether that was frozen pizza in your freezer, or pizza kits. People were looking for meaningful experiences at home. I think as soon as that started happening, consumers started placing a higher demand on the quality of product that they were receiving at home, whether that was a kit, frozen, or hot pizza. I think people started realizing, hey, I'm home for a while. It looks like I'm going to be home for a while. It's harder for me to get to the grocery store, so I'm going to rely on great pizza delivery. And they just were asking for products that they felt better about serving to their friends and their family. For us, we saw a shift over the last few years in vegetarian and plant-based foods. And to Dom's point, I don't think that's a trend. I think that's 100% a consumer habit. One I know, Domenic has done really well with on the ingredient side. And one that we take to heart as well. When we opened our restaurant back in 2017, over 50% of our products were plant-based and vegetarian. Today, for our frozen pizza line, over 75% of those products are plant-based and vegetarian. And I think that consumer habit and that trend will continue to grow over the coming years as more people are health conscious. And I think the other really big eye-opening trend for the operation of the business was the role of technology, and how technology really started helping us attract customers, grow our customer base, use first-party data in a way that was meaningful for our consumers and meaningful for our brand. And the last thing I would say is consumer experiences, customer experience became top of mind for the leadership of our organization. When we had a business that did over 50% of its revenue with people in person at the restaurant. And when that changed, we had to change our customer experience with it, because we were able to talk to customers live. And if there was an opportunity, if we did something wrong, we were able to fix it live. All of a sudden, which I'm sure Dom knows very well, when you send somebody a pizza and hey, sometimes you miss the double pepperoni, or you miss the onions or the mushrooms, I can't just pop one in the oven and give it to you in 5 minutes like I used to be able to. So really understanding what it was like to make sure that our customers felt that we were supporting them was a big trend and habit of 2020.
Right, great point. I'll throw it back to you, Domenic, and to kind of feel free to touch on anything that Ali mentioned. But I want to look back to just over a year ago. I remember one of the last events we went to, the Restaurants Canada show in 2020, and before, just as the pandemic was starting to hit, and thinking of some of the trends that were going on there, such as sustainability. Are there any that come to mind for you, Domenic, that you can remember clearly thinking about and perhaps were put on the back burner, perhaps not?
No, because we were already working on things prior the pandemic, and as Ali mentioned, the technology, we're still working on our technology. We were, prior to the pandemic, we were already developing a new POS system, developing a new app with loyalty. It still hasn't been rolled out. things have slowed down. In our case, they're still working on it for us to get that rolled out. So that type of thing was already in our books to do. What kind of fast tracked during the pandemic was our contactless delivery. We already had it planned to be part of our new app, and it wasn't called contactless delivery. Basically, it was a prepaid system that someone gave the consumer a chance to prepay the order, and all you do is you deliver it and you hand it over, and it's done. But now it's a contactless delivery, so there's an extra step where you don't actually hand over the product. You kind of place it down, and then the consumer comes and picks up the pizza, and away they go. And so these are the type of things that we were definitely looking at prior to the pandemic. So is the plant-based. Plant-based is, as Ali said, he's been in business since 2017, and that's how they started. So it's been around for quite a few years. We didn't jump on the bandwagon, if you will, on that shift right away. We kind of took our time, and because we really didn't find in our case, the best product that we thought that our customers would enjoy. It took some time, and even during the pandemic, we were working with Field Roast that we ended up with, and we took the whole year to work on it, and trying to go back and forth and with samples. It made it a little bit difficult because people weren't always available and so on and so forth. So because of the pandemic, they were home or whatever the case is. Even though we still operate business every single day, there is those challenges. But I would say the hardest part through this pandemic, and one of the bigger challenges, is really with the PPEs, the COVID restrictions. Even though we were open, we had to ensure that our franchisees were following all the protocols. We were getting them to the stores fast enough. Sometimes you get a call from the franchise, where is this stuff? We need this stuff today. And everybody's scrambling at the beginning, right? I mean, we don't know where it is. We're trying as fast as we can. But then you get it there, and like, why aren't you wearing it? Or I mean, these are things that are daily type of things that happen. As for what else we did prior to the pandemic, we're just looking for, we've always been looking for what we can do with our product, what other options we can have as toppings. In Ali's case, they run a restaurant. They can be a little bit more creative, if you will, because in all restaurants do this, and all pizza places do this. They are a little bit more creative. In our case, because we have 150 stores, the consumer is different from downtown Toronto to Barrie or to Hamilton. You can't just roll out something that is hot in downtown Toronto and expect it to sell somewhere outside of Toronto. So we have to be careful what we do. But we look at that, right? We look at what's happening in the smaller pizza places, what's happening and where people are buying and what so forth, because it could be the start of the next hot item on the pizza. So we definitely watch the entire market, not just direct competitors. I hate saying that because everybody's a competitor. Swiss Chalet is a competitor because we're fighting for the same food service dollar. But I mean, in the like some of the larger chains, yes, we continue to see what they do, but it's also continue to see what happens in restaurants, because I think in restaurants this is where the creative juices come flow.
Yeah, well said. Well said. And I think that's what makes this industry so interesting. It's the learning from each other and the sharing. And I think both the independents and the larger chains have a lot to kind of share and learn from each other. And Ali, did anything come to mind for you looking back a year ago that you maybe put on the back burner or just kind of shifted?
Yes. I remember the event back in February of the Restaurants Canada show, and I think that was the last event that I actually attended last year, and definitely look forward to seeing everybody there, hopefully next year. Pre-2020 at that show, our team was really focused on three things to drive 2020. Number one for us was technology. How could we make our systems better? There seems to be a lot of work that happens in our business. It's complicated. There are there's takeout. For us, there was dine-in, there's delivery. How do we effectively use and harness platforms like Don mentioned, POS, to help us achieve our results in a more progressive way, whether that's internally for operational control, such as food cost and labor cost, prioritizing orders. We can give you an example. In the restaurant, we have somebody that orders a pizza. They expect that in 10 minutes or less. We have somebody else that's ordering a takeout pizza on our app, and they've said, hey, we want to pick that up at 11:30 or 12:30 in 30 minutes. And then somebody else places an order for delivery, and we know we need to get that there in 45 minutes. So we need to make sure that we're using technology so that we're actually making that pizza so it's just in time for every single one of those customers, so they get it in the best possible way. So we were looking at POSs and different back-end software to help us drive those decisions. 2, sustainability was a big portion of our thought process and thought leadership as we were going into 2020. Back to your first question about habits and trends, it's something that we know is the forefront of our mind for our core demographic of our consumers. They started, they're demanding us to be better, and we want to make sure we provide that solution. And then number 3 for us, which not only in 2020, but since we opened the restaurant, was our culture, company culture, and making sure that we were attracting the best talent internally within our 4 walls to grow our organization with the best people we could.
Right.
I'd like to
go ahead, Don.
I'd like to add to it is that you make good points there, Ali, and we've with the pickup, delivery, and eat in. That's been our business for our entire existence. So it is definitely a challenge, and it's constantly POSs out of the box do not do the pizza industry any justice. There's a lot of programming and customization done for the pizza industry. It's not like any other food service where you order a dish and you press the dish and it's done. I mean, it's a lot of customization from a customer's point of view. It makes that much more difficult in the POS systems. We've also, what we kind of found is that, the pandemic hit, everything gets put on pause. All your initiatives, everything, because you don't know what's happening. Nobody knows. Nobody has that crystal ball. And then, we got to hit that play button again. We got to get back into all our initiatives that we had going. We kind of stopped for a little bit, and now we got to get back at it because I believe the companies that are working on their business today will be the companies that come out of this pandemic a lot stronger.
Important point. Maybe on that note, I'll ask you, Dom, to tell us a little bit about, you recently launched plant-based pepperoni. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what the decision that went into introducing that?
Well, the background is that, again, I believe that it's a shift in the marketplace. When we came out with our antibiotic-free pepperoni, we were the first in the industry to do this on a large scale. We really believed it took us a year to develop. It took it not only just to develop to ensure supply, that there's enough supply in moving forward, because it's not that we added another pepperoni. We did our existing pepperoni to be that, so that every order gets that. Anybody ordering pepperoni gets that. So we strongly believe in how do you stay relevant in the marketplace? How do you continue to move forward and get people to be excited about your product and your brand? And one way we take advantage is that we feel our product is a premium product, and we as an organization really have to be part of and think this way, is that how do we continue to be that premium product, and how do we continue to be that leader in innovating in our product on a large scale? And there is that shift of the better for you, if you will, quote unquote, products consumer is demanding. So we took that lead, and plant-based, it started in the burger business. Really, the plant-based burgers really took off, and there was a lot of talk about that. We felt that definitely what better way to do a plant-based product? That's why we took a little bit longer to roll this out, because pepperoni, in our case, is our number one topping. We tested all types of products at the beginning, because the burger business was the plant-based business. It was a lot of sausage, beef type of plant-based products, crumbled products, and we tried them, and they're great. But we wanted something that we felt that would be more acceptable, in our case, pepperoni. So we took that extra time to do it. Our company, we believe in, when we bring something out, it's got to be, at that time, it's got to be the best possible product, because that's who we are, because we're premium. We've had great success with it. We've had great results. We've had consumers that are just loving it. We have a product that's got fat marble in it. I mean, it's just like a pepperoni. Prior to there's no way you could have got that. It wasn't available. And, and the consumer is demanding more. I mean, as Ali has built his company on a lot of plant-based products and vegan products. So the demand is there. So we are looking at other alternatives as well, where to go with this. This is what it's not just it's happening in the food industry, but the talk is everywhere. It's in the news. It's in all the food shows. So people are gravitating to that, and the consumers gravitating to that, and then they're demanding it. They're saying, well, I live at home with 4 people. I choose to be a vegan, or I choose to eat plant-based, or I'm a flexitarian or vegetarian, or I'm a meat carnivore. There's options now for the entire family. If two of the members of the family don't want to eat meat, well, there's that option that they can have this alternative product. We came out with the dairy-free cheese, the Daya product, right after we rolled out the raised without antibiotic product, the pepperoni. And we saw an uptick just in that market. And now with the plant-based, we're seeing much more of that take on the dairy-free cheese as well now, because now they're putting the two together and it's working.
Right. It's all about having options, being the place that everyone can go to.
Yes.
Yeah, well said. I'm going to switch a little bit over to the technology side and ask you, Ali, you're kind of known for having pivoted several times this year. You told us a little bit about what you were thinking before the pandemic hit. Can you just briefly sketch out what 2020 has meant for your franchise, and how did you adapt your operations to the consumer changes in consumer behavior that happened with the pandemic?
Absolutely. So sort of to pick up on something Dom said earlier, in the pizza business, in General Assembly's case, it all starts with the dough. Ours happens to be naturally leavened dough, which happens to be vegan. And we look at that dough and we think that's our canvas. And that canvas, we get to create anything we want. And Dom, you said it well. There's plant-based, there's vegetarians, people who like meat, and there's flexitarians. So the number one thing we tried to do this year in the very beginning of the pandemic was make sure that we appealed to all of those people. And it all really started with the product. So right out of the gate, it was at-home pizza experiences. We all go back to March, we all go back to April of last year, where we're sort of on the edge of our seat. We're watching Prime Minister Trudeau almost daily. I know I was waiting for what's going to happen next. And we thought we need to get our product into people's home safely. So, we're looking at in our restaurant, in our kitchen, in our pizza theater, and we think to ourselves, we have everything from pizza kit staring at us. It's all there. We put it on a pizza, and then we put it into the oven, and then we put it in a box. Let's dissect that process and break it down. So right out of the gate, it was connecting with our pizza community at home. That was the pizza kit innovation there. And for us, we rolled that out towards the end of March last year. The next portion of the pivot, if you will, in 2020 was realizing there was a big hole in the shelf on the frozen pizza aisle at the grocery store. I couldn't count the amount of days that I just wanted to put one of our pizzas in the freezer pre-pandemic. And we just didn't have it. It didn't exist. So coming up with a way to get our pizzas into retailers and then sell our pizzas for people to finish at home was a big part of the change in our core business in 2020. And then finally, it was April, where we realized that now that we have kits going, fortunately for Domenic and I, our businesses were built for takeout and delivery. So we were predisposed to having a good infrastructure going into this due to the nature of our business. Having the pizza kits rolled out, seeing some early success in the frozen pizzas, and looking at the data for Q2, Q3, Q4 of 2020, reading medical reports and saying there's a second wave coming. We don't know when that's going to happen, but I think we have enough information to plan now. And that was the emergence of e-commerce in our business, and knowing that having an e-commerce platform to reach customers in a safe way was really important for us. And that was the birth of the e-commerce website and the pizza subscription that we ended up launching in September of last year. And there was two really awesome points about e-commerce and that pizza subscription. One, we control the whole brand experience from end to end. So you come onto our website, you choose our products, we deliver them to you at home. Two, it has a 100% open rate. When people bring it to their home, they open it. So you get to bring a piece of your brand home to people, and connecting people at home on that level was really interesting for us, and it really motivated us to do better in that department. And then three, there's not that many pizza boxes that you can put more than one pizza in, and a subscription box happens to be a pizza box that we can put more than one pizza in. And that's really the kind of three facets of what drove 2020.
Right, what a year. That's great. Thanks for taking us through that. I'm kind of wondering about how recognizing and thinking about and acting on these forces in the market relates to being a strong business leader. Are the two things closely linked, and do you think about it in relation to leading your company? Domenic?
Very good question. Yeah, it is linked, I believe, because the people, your team members, your staff, your franchisees, they all look up to you. You're the leader. So you have to definitely lead with what's happening in the marketplace as well. You lead on your company, what your beliefs are, your mission, and how you go through things, and all your strategies, and so on and so forth. But the outside factors do take a toll on people. They look up to you. Right out of the gate, I think I said it after the first week of the pandemic last year, we're all on these type of calls and speaking to other friends in the market and seeing what they're doing, dealing with landlords. And we had all these issues. And speaking to my people after the first week, and this is only 1 week, I said, no, there's a bigger issue here than worrying about. Yes, we got to worry about the landlords. We got to worry about all these things that we do operationally, but it was the mental health. Because you see it in people that all of a sudden are tied down and they're looking for leadership on that. And how do you deal with it? At that time, I said, we need to communicate and over communicate. That means we're on the phone. We weren't no Zoom experts at the time. And so we were on the phone a lot, talking to all our people, our staff, our franchisees. I mean, I was up from 7 a.m. till midnight on the phone for months. So I believe that's how you as a leader need to lead. You know what? I don't have all the answers, but you have to stand up and be there for your people. So definitely the outside sources, what happens, it is linked to any leader and any organization, because your people, your staff, your team members are looking up to you for answers.
Right. Wow, well said. Ali, what are you thinking about? Do you have any thoughts about leadership in this context?
I do, and I think to your earlier question about how important it is to recognize trends as a business leader, like Dom just said, trends are, sure, there's product trends and there's customer experience trends. There's also human trends like mental health, like Dom mentioned. I think that's a very relevant point and a very top of mind subject for 2020. And I know just like he's making it a priority for his business. We've definitely made it a priority for General Assembly. It's kind of looking within the four walls instead of generally looking outside the four walls and looking within and thinking, hey, there is no pizzas getting made without this team and this organization feeling great about what they're doing. And so taking a step back to your point, Dom, and looking from within, was a huge takeaway from 2020 and one I can definitely relate to you on. I think there's something really important when we're talking about the word trend. And I think a lot of trends come from a market gap and solving a real problem for consumers. That's generally where they're born, and that's set. And then after that, people may follow that. I think customers do that for us. They're the ones who demand to do the hard work of saying, this doesn't exist. And it's our job to recognize that feedback and say, we're going to act on this because I think this fits within our business mantra. And although we're both in the pizza business, we have different consumers and we have different people who we want to talk to first. So it's understanding what our consumer wants and what we're going to put our weight behind in terms of turning that trend into the business. And recognizing and acting on it is really, really important for any business leader, because as Don's referenced many times on this call, relevancy is so top of mind, and making sure that we act on trends for our market is crucial to our long-term viability as a brand and as an organization.
Indeed. I'm wondering what some of the ways that you keep abreast of what's going on in the market. And I mean, this could be going to shows and some of the reading you do and who you talk to. Can you speak to that a little bit for us, Domenic?
Yeah, as you said, I did allude to it a little earlier, where we definitely follow what's happening in the marketplace from a chain perspective down to the independents, and not just in the pizza world, but also in other restaurants and other QSRs, to see where, that's where you find it. I mean, that's where people are gravitating to, and that's where people are carving their habits. I mean, yes, you go to the shows and sometimes you see something at a show, sometimes you don't. But you also got to look at not just what's happening in your market, look outside your market as well. See what's happening south of the border, see what's happening across the pond, and see what's in the food world, what's happening, where are people going, what are people doing about things. We look at all aspects. We don't just sit here in our little bubble and say, oh, this is what Toronto wants. Well, Toronto is a multicultural city. I think that because of the multiculturalism that we have here, you have different tastes. So that's why I'm saying you need to look across the world and not just in your market, and see what's happening, because you can bring in something that, there's a certain market that really, really loves this, and you go with it because it's part of our society. So, I mean, look at everything. Because that's one thing about pizza. The beauty of pizza is you can top it with anything. It doesn't really matter. It's what you like. It's your taste buds. It's your palate that enjoys. I know the big controversial thing is pineapple. People enjoy pineapple. So whether it's controversial or not, people enjoy it. It's a product that sells. Now, if you want to put something that is really different and unique and something, yeah, you can put it on because somebody's going to enjoy it.
Right. Thank you. Ali, can you add any ways that you find out, keep abreast of what's going on in the market?
Yes. A lot of research, a lot of reading, and that is Canadian, that's American, that's Europe, Asia. Sometimes you look at how pizza is delivered in Tokyo, and you look back and you think, whoa, that's nothing like I've ever seen before. Or, whether that's in California through AI, artificial intelligence, and humanless pizza delivery that exists now. So there's a lot of innovation when it comes to artificial intelligence and technology as it relates to our business. But in terms of a product, we are very fortunate that in our respective businesses, we have the ability to create quickly, because again, if we use that dough as a canvas, how we get inspired to top that pizza with anything we like, we can put it out there and let people try, whether that's al pastor spices from Mexico, Lebanese spices to make a shawarma pizza, or going back to Italy to the classics and reinventing those in a more meaningful and relevant way. as we continue to go through that, the flexitarian plant-based, push in the market, going back to Europe and the Western United States and Western Canada for product innovation is definitely where we think it comes from too, and trying to act on those trends vis-a-vis pizza is a really fun job. And one that keeps our team very excited because there's consistent change happening all the time as it relates to product innovation.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Yeah, well, it's obvious that you both enjoy what you do, and it's great to see inspiring others that work with it and for you. One last question. Can I ask you to take out your crystal ball and kind of look ahead and tell me, or maybe just touch on one thing that you see, if you look ahead, maybe even far enough to the next 10 years, where do you see the pizza industry? Domenic, I'll pick on you first.
Wow. The crystal ball. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring with this pandemic. So it's very difficult. Definitely with, I think there'll be more innovation with plant-based. I think it's going to get better as time goes on. Who knows that our pepperoni in 3 years from now will be even better than what it is today. Maybe we'll develop a better pepperoni, and not just pepperoni, but there'll be other products as well. So I think plant-based is a huge thing. I still think the development of raised without antibiotics, I think that's the people that do want to eat the meat products and meat proteins. I still think there is a push on that as well. You mentioned sustainability earlier. I think that is going to be something that we've discussed here, and how we deal with sustainability here at Pizza Nova. So I think those are, to me, some of the biggest things. But also, technology. Technology is changing so fast that we run a call center, right? That call center is going to most likely decrease in the amount of people we employ in the call center over time, because technology is just going to take over. Obviously you can, on the internet, on an app, what's next? It's going to be talking to your phone and just say, order me a pizza at Pizza Nova. It's voice commands. Who knows where it's going to go from there? And I think technology is going to play an important role, but technology it's not inexpensive. So it's something that is difficult to do, and it's difficult to do on a large scale, but it's even difficult to do on a small scale because of the cost. And that's where, which there's got to be something, and hopefully over time that separation comes a little bit closer, because I don't think it's fair that and here, listen, I got 150 stores, and I have that backing, but I don't think it's fair that a person that owns one store, two stores, or one restaurant, and they are not able to compete fairly because of technology. That's my belief, whether it's right or wrong, and that's not the true entrepreneurship, if you will, but I believe everybody should have a fair game in that. And the Amazons have taught us that there isn't a fair game right now. They rule the world in delivering products that we used to buy at your local department store or wherever you shop, right? So going back to the pizza world, it's technology, plant-based, raised with antibiotics.
Yeah. Oh wow, you touched on some important points there. You make the point well that if you find it a challenge, think of all the small operators and how they find that a challenge as well. And I guess the companies that figure that out for people will, and the providers and so on will, maybe there's a challenge for putting it out there.
Yeah, we
Make
need
it more affordable.
We need small business. I'm a big proponent of that. That's the engine of this country, is small business. So it needs to survive, and it needs to have a fair game somehow.
Thank you, Don. Ali, what do you see ahead when you're looking at that crystal ball?
Sure. In the next 2 years for our business, it's really three major points. It's e-commerce, number one, focusing on our e-commerce, focusing on the subscription model, and really harnessing the power of that data to make meaningful changes to our products and make the customer experience the best that it can. Two, General Assembly is now an omni-channel brand and really focusing on how can the pizza business and pizza restaurants become omni-channel. So, whether that's through a subscription, through a grocery, through a restaurant, I think we learned last year that relying on just one channel was not good enough. And having an omni-channel approach in the next 12 to 24 months will help diversify many restaurants in the pizza business, because we all have dough, sauce, and cheese. So how do we take an omni-channel approach to that dough, sauce, and cheese? And number three is sustainability. That the sustainability piece in pizza operations is a big one. We use a lot of products. We have boxes, we have napkins, we have cans, we have glasses. Our packaging needs to be better. And I think that as we will see in the next 12 to 24 months, a lot of our customers and consumers saying we need products that align with our views. And long term, it's hard to have a crystal ball for 10 years out. And I think it goes back to the core business. And the core business, I don't think, has ever changed. Quality product, have the best product. Try your hardest to make the best product you can. And for us, the best pizza we can. Have best-in-class customer experiences, because if your customers are happy and you have a great product, that is definitely a recipe for long-term success. And three, I think both of us can agree, looking from within and focusing on inside of the four walls, in addition to our product and in addition to customer experiences, I think are the most important part for anybody in the pizza business to last a long time. And Dom, your brand has been around for over 50 years, so you probably know that better than most people ever do. And that's a testament to 50 plus years of being in the pizza business. My hats off to you. It's so commendable. And for us, it's product, people, and customers. And I don't think that has ever changed. And in my mind, I don't think it will.
I echo your comment there 100% there, Ali. I live and breathe what you just said every single day of the week. Every single time I have a conversation with anybody, what are we doing for marketing? What are we doing for this? What are we doing for that? What are you doing serving the best possible product with an exceptional experience? That's the key to continuing to stay relevant in your business, because if you give a fantastic product and you have an exceptional experience, people will come. People will continue to come. That's been my mantra for many years, and that's what we do on an everyday basis. So hats off to you as well, because a lot of people don't understand that. That's why you see the ups and downs in the restaurant industry, because they don't understand what this business is all about. Whether it's pizza, whether it's a restaurant that serves seafood, it's about great quality product, great exceptional service. That is the old and tried and true, if you will.
I completely agree.
That's a great note to end on. Thank you both. You heard it here, everyone. Lots to take from this wonderful talk. We've been talking with Ali Khan Lalani, founder and CEO of General Assembly Pizza, and Domenic Primucci, president of Pizza Nova. Ali, Domenic, thank you for joining us and sharing your ideas. We wish you continued success with your businesses.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.